and the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom alaikum.
Young TV.
Why all our shit turn into rebellious celebrations of idiots? Where you bring in your Reverend Al Sharptons and Jesse Jacksons to tell us to be calm, and they killing more of the other color than they is of us. Why we got to be sensationalized as the permanent victim every time something happens. They got to make us be the victims in jail, only they got the self-control. They got to stir our emotions up with Malice Green. They got to get us to riot with Rodney King, right? But they don't tell you about all of those to shoot up the schools. They getting the same treatment from the government, but they not being sensationalized, so they feel like they struggle not even being considered. And all the time they using the media to sensationalize the stuff that happened to us to make it look like that we the ones that they really doing the most dirt to, when they doing their dirt to us, but they doing it in a different way than we think. They tricking us to stay divided and conquered. They telling them boys in the hood, don't talk to them boys on the bikes with the tattoos. The boys in the hood got tattoos, and they telling the boys in the hood, don't talk to them boys on them bikes with the tattoos. Why I can't talk to them? They might understand me if we have a conversation, but as long as I listening to y'all tell me don't talk to them, we not gonna never know if we really don't like each other or not. Or if somebody told us we don't like each other and we fell for the banana in the tailpipe. These same people created the Jewish Defense League and the Anti-Defamation League. Very few of y'all know that the Jewish Defense League was created to be a paramilitary opponent for the Black Panther Party for self-defense. Because they started using the Jewish Defense League as an extortion agency and as a homicide hit squad. They used the Anti-Defamation League as a public relations watchdog group. And this is why they passing laws where you can't say nothing about these people. or else you considered anti-Semitic, and then they can bring the lawman to your front door. Right? We all know genetically that the black woman got every nation in her genetics. We know this. That don't say except for the European, the pale-skinned European. It don't say they excluded from the genome of the sisters. They not excluded. We know personally sisters and brothers that we absolutely know not Caucasian, not pale-skinned European, in some of our families that damn near look like they could pass. If we didn't know who their mama and daddy was, most of the time we'd think they was adopted. Especially when you get to what they call two of them bright folks together and they make one of them light bright babies. Y'all don't know about that in the South? I know y'all know about that in the South. And then where all of the niggas that was passing, where they go? What happened to them? They just disappeared? Remember, they was passing. So they somewhere. And they trying to tell us our DNA can tell them we from Africa, but it can't tell them that this nigga passing. It's more likely your genetics can tell you you not a pale European than it is can tell you that we from Africa. We not supposed to have no what you call analytical capabilities. We ain't supposed to break this shit down into smaller bites and study each piece. When we start doing that, now they start sending their little low-level, illiterate minions that jumped on the bandwagon of Johnny-come-lately $2.50 Indians because they missed the $5 boat. So now they only half of them motherfuckers. $2.50 ass niggas. They got, look, Cherokee is the catch term. This is why there's so many different looking people under the banner of Cherokee. It's a catch term like more. The Anahuac original tribe is the parent tribe of the collective under the catch term Cherokee. And all of this goes back to the reclassification, cataloging us like animals. And because they told the lie so good, and they got people that look like us perpetuating the lie, we started to believe that the lie was true when they told us out the gate, history is written by the victors and history is a lie agreed upon. And they don't never tell us who is these victors that's writing this history and what is this lie they agreeing upon and why is they agreeing upon this lie instead of the other lie. Because I know they got more than one, because Winston Churchill said that the truth is so valuable it must be carefully guarded by a ring of lies. So tell me, which one of the lies in the ring need to be exposed first in order for you to figure out that all of this stuff is a made-up construct just for them to undermine who you are and disassociate you from your tribal birthright, from your organic aboriginal right as a caretaker of the land to assume your jurisdictional supremacy as the sovereign body of the planet when you align with the collective mothers. Once you do that, your birthright activates. Once your birthright activates, now we can drag these suckers out in the open. This is a done deal. We ready now. We can tell you with the references everything they did. Even if they bring their own references, because when you playing with cheaters, you got to keep the rule book open. When you playing with cheaters, you got to keep the rule book open. And I'm glad rule number 1, turnabout is fair play. If they use it on you, you can use it back on their ass. But you got to let them use it first. So now they mad because everything they use to conquer us, we used it as the means to conquer them. And then they got caught in their own trap. And they mad at us because we was the ones trapping them in the trap they was setting for us. My mama told these some bitches a long time ago, when you dig a ditch, dig two, motherfucker, because I'm not falling in that first one. I see it's there. Because if you put me in the ditch, your ass gonna be in the ditch next to me. You better believe that. We hillbillies, we warring. Bring war to the city. Ain't no thing. We was born on drive-bys, brought up to bang. This is how we move. Right? So they sit here and they want to know, what is the order of the round table? The order of the round table, Larry is the speaker. He is the chairman of the board. That means that Larry's responsibility as the chief on the land, whether he like it or he don't like it, whether he want it or he don't want it, he is the most qualified to come out and to give the report to the people, because they don't got to report to this government. They got to report to the people. The people sanctions government. The report to the people must tell them about the conquest that we just got done making over our enemy, and that this was a drawn out, protracted struggle that required all of the tribes to perform in different capacities on the land in order to conquer the enemy. We was heavily infiltrated. We was overthrown, but we was overthrowing the overthrower that was overthrowing us when we was doing our judo on their ass. Just when they thought they had us flipped, we flipped their ass. This is just how the game played. It's not personal. This is checkmate, motherfuckers. Right? We did it with the music. We did it in the entertainment with the movies. They thought they was going to control the narrative. So we took the narrative they thought they was giving us and we slid in there, Cicely Tyson, to tell you that she was not no African. Right? Her daddy was a full-blooded Iroquois. And she was an Iroquois high priestess. So while they thinking they making fun of us, we sliding messages in the movies in the ad lib that went so good that the director thought it fit so perfect with the script that was already written, he wouldn't cut it out. And then they didn't realize until the people started acknowledging the tidbits of information that, oh shit, we shouldn't have left that in there. It's too late now. We bought the video, the DVD, the VHS, the Betamax. We got that shit. Now you can't take it back. We can go point it out to somebody to allow them to see the sister is trying to tell you what they don't want her to say. Tears of a Clown, Smokey Robinson, Hayoka High Priest, delivering the message. He said he ain't no African, but he proud to be black. Go pull it up. Listen to the poem. He telling you he ain't come from no Africa. But that don't mean we got a problem with people in Africa. We love African people. We love African culture. We just don't like people just downplaying our culture, trying to make us believe we from somebody else when we got our own culture to love and to flourish from, when we realize just when they thought that they was conquering us, we conquered them. As soon as we realize that, it's a done deal. They thought they had us. We sit here and reconstituted the government in the continuity of government program in everybody's face, and they was laughing at Rod Hayes the whole time. The whole time I'm putting Big Mama's kingdom back together so we can have heaven on earth again, and they calling me crazy. They saying that I don't know what I'm talking about and we all Moors, and I'm just being unduly harsh on the ones I call dirty Moors, and that no, we tribes. We tribes. You can't find one map that got America as Morocco. You can't convince me of some shit that didn't exist. You can't. If we was all Moors, we wouldn't have been broke up into 5,000 tribes when the enemy came. Go get the book, 5,000 Tribes of North America. We ain't even got to the islands, Central and South America yet. That's just 5,000 North America tribes. Wait till we get done with the Mesoamerica going into South America and the islands and get done. We ain't even counted them people in the 5,000 tribes that we telling you was here. So if you was a Moor, you would have been one of the tribes, one of the many tribes, and you would have been designated to a specific part of the land. That's according to our culture, but according to European culture, we just gonna blanket all you motherfuckers together. We not Europeans and we not Africans. They culture can't dictate how we move as we move across our own land. Their government might have been in control for a while until we figured out that it was a whole fraud and dismantled it in everybody's face, while they thinking that we just being some social media chitter chatters, and all of the time we having whole governmental teams watching us at continuity of government in order to know what moves to make next. We already know what move need to be made next. The chiefs need to hit the streets. We need 3 kings walking. We need reports from the kings. And while that's going on, don't worry about what the matriarchy doing. The matriarchy is handling matriarchal business. Now it's time for the brothers, the fatherland, to step out in front and do what we supposed to do in order to be the cover story to protect the motherland. If we ain't ready to do that, then we might as well go sit back and surrender to the slave master. Ain't no sense of overthrowing the slave master to perpetuate slavery under a different name or a different skin color or a different geographical location. If you're going to overthrow slavery, abolish that shit unilaterally. If you're going to get rid of these rotten motherfuckers, get rid of all of their rotten behaviors, traits, and characteristics, any and everywhere you see it, or leave that shit alone and go on about your business and let these motherfuckers figure it out themselves. Them the only options we got. We don't got no whole lot of options. We don't have a whole lot of options. Put Big Mama doing what Big Mama do. Now it's time for us brothers to step out and do what the brothers supposed to do. All of this shit is coming into motherfucking fruition, whether you like it, don't like it, whether you understand it or don't understand it, whether you want it to or you don't want it to. It goes back to who it belonged to at the close of the age. It's just that simple. It don't go back to who I want it to go to or who you want it to go to. It go back to who it belonged to, the rightful owners. The owners, the originators, the first ones, the mothers, the ones who gave birth parthogenically until they decided to make our ass so that this part of it can be getting done by us while they go do their part. They needed a different type of physiology to carry out a different function. So now it's time for us brothers, hey, look, they done been put on notice across the land. Everything has been moved according to the tribal traditions in the public domain. In everybody's face. I have not been hiding. I ain't been running and I ain't been ducking. This shit time-stamped and dated in an archivable format for posterity to go pull the record. And as they say about Jesus in church, they can say about Rod, didn't he do it? Didn't he do it? It's recorded. You can't undo it now. It's done. It's in the history books. It's part of the mirror of the past that's going to light the way to the future when you realize what just took place in your motherfucking face. With the receipts. Gorilla grip on that ass. On that post. You say I stuck my finger in the ground, turned the world around, plugged into the socket. So when you see stuff like the Noriega situation and you think that Noriega was wrong because the socially engineered media told you he was wrong, that don't mean he was wrong. Maurice Bishop ain't done nothing wrong for the CIA to put an assassination hit out on him. All that man wanted was for the people in his community to be able to live without outside forces interfering in their family business. And because he spoke up, they got scared that he might be the one to wake these niggas up over here. And the only reason I know it because they told it to him and he told it to us. They told Maurice Bishop to tone down his rhetoric before it influenced the Negroes in America to rise up against the American legal fiction. They called it their government. They don't belong here. Police don't belong here. And the sheriffs are supposed to be under the jurisdictional authority and command of Angel Bay, the law of the land. But we won't sit here and accuse each other and falsely accuse each other and confuse each other about the truth instead of telling people who belong where. I'm telling you who doing the work. That's how you know where they belong. Go back and see why they got Angel Bay locked up. Because he was behaving as a chief that had a specific function to fulfill for the people of the land, whether they with him or not. He still got to do his work. He still got to do his work. He still got to do what he got to do as one of the chiefs responsible for liberating us from this oppressive regime. Who gonna back the man up? We can't keep acting like cowards every time one of the leaders fall. We go along to get along with the motherfucking enemy in order to wipe our feet on his work. We did it with Malachi. We did it with H. Rap Brown. We did it with Mumia. We done it with Mutula. We did it with Larry. We did it with Jeff. We did it with Tukey. We done it with Geronimo Pratt. We done it with Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture. We did it with Asada, left her stranded in Cuba. I know she want to come home and see her family. But no, we don't have the insight and the understanding to say this is her shit. Her castle is in New Jersey waiting for her people to tell that governor over there to write the goddamn pardon for the assassination attempt on her life that failed. But no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. It require us to put some ink on paper or to make a phone call, and that's just too much in order to fight for somebody's freedom. We don't have that kind of time and energy. I got to watch Young and the Restless. I can't miss Judge Judine or whoever the fuck on there this week. I got to see the People's Court. But you can't say nothing about none of your people that stood up and fought for your liberation. You watched them fall and went on to the next person to watch them fall. And now you done been jumping leader to leader as part of the problem, offering nothing up as a solution. And if somebody offers a solution, you become the number one opponent. This is why Malachi's still locked up. That's exactly why Malachi's still locked up. Motherfuckers want to see him out, but the motherfucker next to him keep tripping them every time they take a step toward the direction of getting Malachi out. He been had the motherfucking release order since 2019. Come on, it's 2024. That's 5 years. He supposed to been home. Why he can't come home? Because can't nobody take that man home to get assassinated. Not the government don't want no parts of that shit. Because then they got to deal with some shit called the Galactic Council. I don't even talk about the motherfuckers. They ain't from here. I'm about the Earthborn. But because of what's going on, I gotta periodically mention some motherfuckers from outer space. We got enough problems on the surface to deal with that we shouldn't even have to worry about no niggas from outer space. But now y'all keep fucking with Malachi. Y'all got to worry about some niggas from outer space, but these some super niggas. These ain't no regular, everyday, ordinary run-of-the-mill niggas. These are super niggas. I'm trying to tell y'all ahead of time, and y'all, this government, in their last little old breaths of life, need to do something in the public domain before Malachi called these super niggas. Them ain't got nothing to do with me. It don't got. I'm growth and development. I'm in a whole different tribe, but I'm telling you what I see coming. These niggas infiltrated his house, and he got a whole flock of super niggas. I can't figure out no other way. Black Adams. He got a whole army of Black Adams coming. He could have been called him, but somebody had to get him the opportunity to bump straight first. That shit just so happened to fall in my territory. I'm not fucking with them niggas. Them niggas is too. I can't move. I can't tolerate that. I can't sanction no shit like that. I can't tell the Empress to push for Malachi to go back to some rotten ass motherfucking traitor ass, turncoat, shoe shuffling ass motherfuckers. I can't in good conscience do that. Yeah, I want Malachi out, but I don't want to send that man home to that bullshit. He done did his work. He should be able to lay back on the beach and get fed some goddamn grapes while somebody massaging his feet in the sun in the Bahamas somewhere. Well, he shouldn't even have to write another book if he don't feel like it. But they keep fucking with him. All I can tell him is he got some Black Adam niggas. He don't got 2 or 3 of them motherfuckers either. It's a lot of them niggas. And they don't smile. They don't have a sense of humor. They got a sense of duty first. And until the duty fulfilled, you won't even know them motherfuckers know how to smile. You won't even know them motherfuckers know how to laugh or none of that until the job that the duty called for is complete. They serious. Keep playing with Malachi. All I could do is warn you. I'm firstborn of the Earthborn. I'm not going nowhere. But it's a lot of niggas that gotta leave, and they got a whole bunch of Black Adam niggas to come get them. Stay out the way. Stay out the way. That's all I can tell you. And you think your motherfucking 38 something, they got some shit that'll make your 38 stop working before you even cock that bitch back. They got guns that shoot frequencies that paralyze your whole central nervous system. They not worried about your bullets, bro. Your bullets don't mean nothing. That's antique history to them. To them, that's the same as a fucking muzzle loader in today. Can you imagine you got a tech and here come this dude trying to fight you with a muzzle loader? They not playing. They serious. They not playing. Inky gonna turn them motherfuckers loose to come get him. And then ain't gonna be nothing nobody can do. America tried to make super soldiers So they came out with a whole bunch of Captain Americas to supposed to be fighting these Black Adams. They produce all these steroid-induced Captain Americas to fight this Black Adam. And they think they're going to win. And it's a lot of them. And it's a lot of them. And they all wearing some shiny-ass gold-looking shit. I don't know if it's brass, bronze, gold, whatever it is, it's shiny as shit. And he ain't the only one got a support team like that. He ain't the only one. It's just that he the one that was the loudest about him, so I got to talk about it. He was the loudest about his, what he called his star family. So now I got to address that shit, even though I don't want to address no extraterrestrial niggas. Because we got enough problem with Earth niggas that we need to be dealing with on Earth. But all good things come to an end. Right? They trying their shenanigans, but they not going to work. They going to expect your enemy to try to obstruct your progress. But expect your allies to have the eyes to see what they doing. Because everybody in this spiritual war is in the optimum position for the success we have already achieved. Now we have to play it out on the ground like a play or a movie script so the people can understand what's taking place. Simeon Toko told him, he said, y'all can't handle one of me. In the future, it's a whole bunch of me coming. Who you think he was talking about? He was talking about all them Black Adams that's under the fleet command of Marduk. We know him as Malachi Z. York. And they got some stuff. He gonna be just as healthy as he was when he was in his 20s as soon as they get here. And they've been sending these plasma ships, these cloak ships in all over the country. People been posting the videos talking about what's this. They don't know what it is. And the only reason I know what it is because Malachi already told us in the Holy Tablets what it is that we gonna see when we be looking at it. And he described it. And now I'm looking at it and I'm telling you they here. They here. Yeah, all my support team Earthborn. I got Big Tookie and Angel Bay and Larry Hoover. You know, but I can call on some underworld motherfuckers. But it's not necessary. They come out like the Day of the Dead with the war paint on. They come out of the shadows looking like an 8-foot tall wolf because they wearing a wolf pelt of an ancient wolf that used to be big as hell. They gonna be coming out of the woods and people gonna think they seeing a bear, but it's a man with a bear suit on. Why you think they call them skinwalkers? I don't have to call on nobody. All I gotta do is let them keep picking on Malachi. That's all I gotta do and stay out of it. Let them keep picking on him and then just stay out of it. And I won't have to call on nobody. He'll clean it up. This is not what people think it is. People think that this 3D shit is more real than the spiritual shit. When the 3D shit is all of the spiritual beings decide to follow a set of rules. One, you cannot come into Earth in your mythic form during this chapter. Everybody got to come in the form of a human. All of the magicians know this, but the non-magicians don't. So when you look at a person that was a dwarf or a gnome or an ogre, they just look like funny looking people. But if you look a little bit closer, you be like, dang, that motherfucker look like Shrek. Right? You have to be able to see, but you can't see because your mind is blinded by the bullshit they taught us that was designed to blind the mind. And we can't take it personal that we got deceived. But the fact that you find out that you got deceived gives you an vaccination and inoculation to that very same deception. That's why I keep explaining how this shit works. Once you understand how it works, it can't work on you unless you force it to. Your natural spiritual defenses begin to put resistance up to the BS. And this is going to facilitate your awakening. I'm just following instructions. But I'm telling you now, they done rounded a whole bunch of people up. In 2020, we was at about 8.4 billion people. Believe me, it might be about 3.7 billion people on Earth right now. But they don't want to tell y'all the sheer number of people that was just walking down the street and they just turned off. I told people 4 years ago, I said, y'all gonna know if they reported it in the news, because people just gonna be walking down the street and drop dead for no reason. Then all of a sudden they came out with some stuff a couple years after I said that called sudden adult death syndrome. And they call it SADS for a nickname. Just like sudden infant death syndrome is called SIDS. I'm not no prophet. I'm not prophesying. I'm reading a script that would, to the average person, is like reading the streamers in the Matrix. But once you've been a coder and you've been coding computers, that's nothing for you to read it at a rapid pace like that. Because that's how you program computers and you're a programmer. But a non-programmer looking at the streamer in the Matrix needs a translator. So I'm translating the shit that I'm seeing. And for the people that don't know what I'm doing, it might give the appearance as if I'm rendering a prophecy when I'm not rendering a prophecy. I'm just reading the script that they wrote and showing you what they saying so you can see the anomalies in the fallacies that they putting in front of us, which breaks you free from the bullshit. I don't know who rounded them up. I know a lot of people went through Stargates that's not here. They were not allowed to kill them on Earth because they would have reincarnated on Earth. So there's a lot of people, especially a lot of those that was part of that Swiss royal family that lived in them underground bunkers. See, when I was telling people that 4 years ago, they didn't believe me. But now they didn't already released, once they didn't cleared the people out, now they releasing the information on the bunkers in Switzerland. And they had more underground bunkers, shit, than they had cities above ground. It was whole bustling cities underground. That's where your world leaders, your Amun priesthood, was hiding the whole time that this American warfare has been waging. This is a 500-year protracted struggle. Homeland Security ain't never stopped defending the home. It's just that the people who were supposed to be helping them fell asleep because they got tired of watching the war go on. They'd rather go take a nap. Let me see what time it is. 12:38. Yeah. So we're an hour and a half in. I'm not doing the Q&A. I need to talk to the Empress about some news I got right before I started the live. But look, this shit over with. All of these, pay attention to the solar rays. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you like this. Watch Kalai. He gonna tell you he gonna keep you up to date on Schumann resonance, and he gonna keep you on to date on the UVB rays. In some areas, he a little extremist for some, but don't disregard everything but what he telling you about the solar rays and the Schumann resonance, the UVB rays, and pay attention, right? Don't let his sometime aggressive disposition make you miss what he's telling you, because he's telling you valuable information, right? Because you getting source codes that's upgrading your DNA, right? When we went through the Muerta, those source codes came from the Great Mother that directly corresponded to the mitochondrial frequency of the women. Then they sent out signals from Earth in the Schumann resonance that went as a magnetic radiant field to the sun. The sun in return responded with what's called solar flares and solar storms in order to feed the radioactive particles the genetic upgrade data from the sun in order to upgrade the next generation. So we gonna go from living 65 years to more like 350 to 1,000 years. With good health, we not gonna suffer from aging in our 50s and 60s. We not gonna experience biological aging until we several hundred years old. And the rate of aging will be drastically reduced because they maimed us when they altered the telomeres on the genes. And they gave us something called the human aging hormone. Go check out Cynthia Keenan from the University of California, Berkeley, and her research into the aging process. She's a gerontologist, right? They also look up the telomere extension technology that's been developed once the scientists discovered that somebody altered our DNA by reducing the length of the telomeres on the genes, which causes our ages to accelerate, right? All this is available information. Look at epigenetics, because in epigenetics, it's going to tell you wherever you at, you broadcasting from another location, and the broadcast receiver is your biological entity called a Earth rover, a Earth meat rover, a meat suit. And you'll understand how the frequencies translate into information in the DNA that animates your reality, right? And it's important to break free from all of the defense hatreds. Now, the defense hatreds is you developed a hate along a certain line to defend yourself against a so-called white supremacist or a Republican or a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim, whatever. You developed a defense mechanism of hatred to defend you from the onslaught of their hatred. But you don't think you're affected by it because you find yourself in the position of right according to how you interpreted the problem. So once you discovered you was in the position of right, it justifies you to hold on to the hatred that's blocking your ascension. But you have no clue that you holding on to the hatred because you don't have a clue that it's a response to the hate that you gave. Somebody gave you hate and you had to turn it around, alchemicalize it, and turn it into defensive hate so that it doesn't diminish your self-esteem. But now it's time for you to let go of all of the hates and embrace infinite wisdom by incarnating divine love frequency, right? This is what the activating of the matriarchy side effect is. When the women start turning on this unconditional love field, they start speaking life into their man instead of having to tell a motherfucker some shit. Instead of always having to tell a motherfucker some shit. Some of the people you got to tell some shit, you speaking aggressively tearing them down when they might need your words of wisdom and a little bit of compassion in order to straighten up their reality. But we always got to tell a motherfucker some shit. I can't let a motherfucker get away unless I tell him. You don't got to tell a motherfucker shit. Get out of that psychological damaging bullshit that you obligated to bitch check a motherfucker because they saying some stuff or they did some stuff. If you ain't ready to go to all the way to the extreme, let that shit go. Because you don't know the person that you got to tell something to might be in the right mood to be prepared to go to the worst of extremes if a motherfucker tell them something on this day. Yesterday, nope. Tomorrow, nope. But today, yep. Stop trying to always get the last word. That means you insecure. If you always got to get the last word, you have insecurities in yourself where you feel like motherfuckers can't hear you. Stop giving a fuck if motherfuckers hear you. Stop caring so much if people think you crazy or different or whatever. Because all they doing is using your emotions to manipulate you into a self-defeating psychological profile that only end up becoming a problem to you in the end. You do not have to tell a motherfucker a thing. You don't have to be disrespectful and curse everybody out. You don't always got to have the last word. Right? Sometimes it's better to take a deep breath and say, that ain't even worth my time. I'm not finna let that shit upset my peace. Because when you can stand there in your peace, the motherfuckers that's trying to upset you falls into their own misery when it don't work. You staying peaceful in the midst of hostilities will make a motherfucker dive off of a 40-story building in frustration rather than deal with you not giving a fuck. And that's just the way it is. We don't always need to tell a motherfucker nothing. Go back to The Godfather. Vito Corleone told Sonny Corleone, never tell a man what you're thinking. Why would he tell him that? Because when people know what you're thinking, they know how to put obstacles in your path. They know how to interfere with your progress. They know how to tear your shit down before you even get builded up. Stop telling all your business. Don't tell strangers your personal life when you first meet them. They might not even be the type of people that you want knowing about your life, but you done told them all your shit before you realize, I wish I wouldn't have told that motherfucker nothing. You would rather say, I wish I have a chance in the future to tell them something than to be regretting telling them something before you got to know them. You know, it's all part of a war front to keep us in them low vibrating energies. We watching our government commit criminal activity and prosecute the ones that was born to change our condition using attrition, meaning gradually changing the part they could. And when they all got done changing, we'll all be changed into our own culture again. But rather than do that, now we need the shock and awe, artificially manufactured savior bullshit, Barack Obama, first black president drama, in order to make us feel like we worth being here. And he didn't care two shits about us. He one of them look like us but ain't us ass niggas, because he ain't did nothing for us. Anybody that you look up to as a celebrity, all you have to do to determine if they with us or against us is try to find out what did they do in the neighborhood they from. If these people got on and got millions of dollars and moved out there to some big old overpriced building and disregarded the whole community that reared them and helped them to develop their talent and skill set, and they don't do nothing to reach back to assist anybody in the community, they ain't none of us. They not none of us. Look, before the settlers came, we was the type, we would go all the way across the country and send resources we had accumulated back so that the family can utilize it to help the most people in the family. Now what we do, we move to the other side of the country and keep it all to ourselves. That's not our behavior. That's not our people. That's not natural to us. Look, go watch them young cats hang out on the block, and when I came up, we was drinking 40s. When we was drinking 40s, I live in Pontiac. If I would have went to Detroit and to a park and be like, who want a 40? With a box of 40s, they would have all been cool. Come on, that's what we do. This is how we meet each other. This is how we get to know each other. We do stuff to bring us together so we can get to learn each other, learn how to best communicate across different cultural barriers, and we start with the ones that's in the other side of town, the family down the street, right? The ones that live in the house behind us. I ain't never talked to them. I think I'm going to go around there today and see if the old man want a beer. Right? Oh, son, I don't drink beer, but you can go grab me a scotch. Now you just got to know somebody in your neighborhood that you didn't know 20 minutes earlier because you asked him, did he want to have a beer? This is what they used to call Southern hospitality. But this used to be all over the land because everybody all over the land come from the Southern hospitality of the old Mississippians. That's the root stock. And everybody developed different practices that define their tribal differences. And we never held it against each other till the settlers came and told us that if the Apaches want to keep putting patches on their denim, right, and the Mohawk want to keep cutting around the sides of their head instead of cutting that shit out the middle, right, then y'all can't work together, and we fell for it. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm going to keep telling y'all the truth. I'm standing in the position of right, exercising my birthright, because we done already did that. Now it's just a matter of When do the military-industrial complex, which is now Raven Rock Continuity of Government Complex, when will they roll out the Gitmo files, the Pizzagate files, the what's the other one? Frazzle Drip files, the Hunter Biden files, the Little Lolita files. They did all of this stuff. Half of this stuff is already out there. And some, like for instance, I got the contents of Hunter Biden laptop, and that shit horrible. He got a whole bunch of pictures with hookers and shit off. He got more freaky shit than dope shit in there. And they made more fun of him for the dope than they did the freaky shit. That boy was twisted in his sexuality. They even got pictures of Obama oldest girl butt naked with him. I'm just saying. I don't know if it's true, but the political rumors in D.C. say old Joe was stroking her too. And she was underage, and Barack and Big Mike knew about it. All them people, I told you, they'll sell their kids and they'll sell their mama. And they'll buy some kids to act like they their kids in order to make you think they had some kids. They've been using technology that they never told us they have to facilitate the deception. Right? These people sick. This why it's so hard on the people that want to help, because they try to project their sickness onto you as if you the same sick as them, and you ain't nothing like them people. And then we got the bandwagon gossip committee that as soon as some negative shit come on, it don't have to be true. They gonna jingle bells that negative shit all across the land like it's the hardcore facts. Right? They accuse a motherfucker of something. They accuse me of some shit. Ain't no police came knocking on my door to ask me no questions, though. To find out if it's any validity to the allegations. Ain't no special crime victim unit been here asking me anything. Because motherfuckers know bullshit when they hear it. See, they could come on social media and drag a motherfucker, right? But they can't make up them false stories all the time. If the police ain't in on it, they gonna see right through that bullshit. They gonna see through it every time. Because you don't just accuse people of shit because you can accuse them. And this, like I was telling my brother, the worst rape case is a buyer's regret rape case. Where the chick, like Mike Tyson, the girl get mad because he don't walk her to her car and send her roses in the morning, so she want to cry rape after the fact. That she done came to this man on the booty call hour, that every woman in America know that a hotel at 2 a.m. is booty call time. Every woman in America know that. 2 a.m. at a hotel with a guy you don't barely know is booty call hour. Every one of the sisters know that. The white girls know it. The salsa chicks know it. Right? The Rasta chicks know it. And all of the women in America know that if they get up and leave their own room, home or hotel, go to a man room by themselves at 2 o'clock in the morning with alcohol, somebody planning on having sex. Every woman know that. Right? Now, there is no defense for that kind of bullshit. Because the allegation is the only evidence. Now it's her word against his word, and he can't say nothing because he don't know what the fuck she talking about. Well, where'd she get this shit from? Same thing with Tupac. The chick said Tupac didn't rape her, but he left her in the room with the dudes that did rape her and went to sleep on the couch in the living room. And because of that, he was guilty of rape. That's retarded. That's retarded. Why did you stay your grown ass in the room with them niggas you already knew when Pac barely knew any of you motherfuckers? But don't nobody want to ask that question. Because now they saying you being harsh on the victim and you blaming the victim, but you ain't nobody asking no real questions. Because when you start asking real questions, that whole case come out to be an exposure as a fraud. It was a setup from the word go. Now, 23, 24, 25 years later, all of the shit then came out that Jimmy Henchman was behind it. He paid the motherfuckers to rob Tupac at Quad Studios. He told them to discipline him and take his shit for being a smart ass on the phone because he wanted him to record on a Little Shine video, and Pac was trying to avoid them niggas because Biggie told him, stay away from them niggas. Them niggas don't mean you no good. Pac trying to find out from Big before he started dealing with these suckers, why are you telling me this, Big? But Big don't never get a chance to tell him because the next time he see Pac, this nigga's coming up the elevator bleeding and shot. Yeah, but we know how to, we intelligent people and we can see. Stevie Wonder can see better than 98% of these goofballs. You don't believe me? The lady was showing him something on her cell phone. And I know you can teach kids to read blindfolded, so why not teach a blind man to see? Right? Because whatever agency of vision that the blindfolded children is using to read and tell you colors and do math problems with their eyes covered, then I'm pretty sure that you could use the same method to teach somebody with no eyes to activate their visual cortex and see through their third eye transmitter. I'm just saying. We so behind in the basic analysis of things. Like America put Saddam Hussein in power and then turned on him to sell Iran small munitions to fight against America's #1 ally in the region.